guys, this is Charlie and Natasha from Kracht Amsterdam, and we have today's home workout for you. So it's Saturday and we couldn't get enough of all the intervals, so we have an interval for you again. This time it's a 2-minute work period followed by a 1-minute rest period, and this will do for 5 rounds. Now, during that 2-minute work period, you're going to perform 30 double unders if you have a rope, otherwise high hops if you don't have a rope, followed by 10 single arm dumbbell or kettlebell thrusters, and if you don't have a dumbbell or kettlebell, it will be a backpack or another odd object thruster with 2 arms, followed by as many burpees as you can in the remaining time. Now, the hard thing about this is that the window is only 2 minutes, so to already perform 30 of these jumps followed by 10 thrusters is going to be quite spicy, and then only in the remaining time you'll have time to do burpees. Those burpees will determine your score, so make sure you have enough time for them. Of course, I'm going to run you through the movement standards in a bit, but first we have a warm-up, which will be 3 rounds of what we're going to do together, but the first round you're going to join us, and this will be both for mobility, strength, as well as warm-up, all in one combined. Let's get started. For the first one, we're going to get in an inchworm into a 5-second hold. In the up-facing dog. So as Natasha's doing, join us straight away. You're doing an inchworm, drop the hips, hold this up-facing dog for 5 seconds, and then you're going to come back walking your hands towards your feet until you're standing fully upright. That was 1. We're going to do 3. You walk back forward until you're at the farthest point you can. Drop your hips for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you walk back for that inchworm, and then we have 1 more rep of this. Follow us, walk as far as you can. Now feel free to move your neck a bit in this position, maybe look over one or over the other shoulder, and then we'll walk back for the final time. Up next, you're going to find yourself a spot on the floor. We're going for tuck-ups, but every time you're tucking your knees in, you're going to be holding that position for 3 full seconds. So you hold here, then you tuck, 1, 2, 3, and back, 1, 2, 3, and back, slightly slower, 2, 3, and back, 1, 2, 3, and back, 1, 2, 3, and back. Beautiful control by Natasha, 2, 3, and relax. Then we'll have 12 steps of the duck walk. So you're going to be getting in the bottom of the squat position, and then you'll just go for small steps forward and up to 12 in total, depending on the space. Just make very small laps or go for 12 in ones. Then we have 12 times the gymnastic swimming. Set up a bit more here. So you're going to be on your belly. You're going to raise both your legs a little bit for some activation, but mostly the chest, and then you'll go with your hands all the way until they're touching in the back, and then you come back forward. You do this for 12 times. So ideally the legs are going to be as close together as possible. That's beautiful. But as long as you find tension in those shoulder blades, it's a great warm-up. So if you lack mobility and you find it extremely hard to go all the way back, just go up to a point where you don't experience pain. And at all times you kind of try to pull the shoulder blades together. This is of course not exactly the same as breaststroke swimming, but I think you get the idea. Then to get the heart rate up, we're going for 100 single unders. So you get a rope if you have. If you don't have a rope, I'll show the first 10 reps of the hops. And try to make it in one unbroken quick go. Let's go. 100 reps, guys. This is great practice if you're not used to doing single unders because you usually do doubles. This is just as great for coordination as learning the doubles, because often you kind of forget a little bit. Try to still make it a nice hop, so it's only a short floor contact. The body stays as upright as possible. Don't stand too much like this. Try to kind of come a bit forward with your torso. And as I can hear Natasha's breathing, this is a great way to get the heart rate up. round number 1. I need you to do another 2 rounds. Just check in the explanation what it is. It was 3 of these inchworms into an up-facing dog with a pass. It was 6 of the tuck-ups with a pass. Then 12 steps of the duck walk, 12 times gymnastic swimming, and then 100 of those. Before you start, quickly press pause. And then we continue with the movement standards. And those movement standards, we're going to do one by one. Let's start with double unders, of course. This time you're going to get that rope under your feet twice, where you jump only once. Let's do just a few reps. Thank you. Then single unders are the alternative. And if you would go for the high hops, by that we mean that you have that short floor contact, but that you jump as high in that hop as possible. So I'll show the difference. This would be more of what we did in the warming up. And this is what we want you to do now. So you're not going to be glued to the floor when you land. You kind of want to jump straight away when you land. But you make the height as well. Then for the single arm thrusters. Let's start off with the dumbbell. That thruster movement is a combination of a squat and a press, where it's all about the violent hip extension. If you look at it from the front, she's going to squat fully down and then ends with the arm overhead. From the side ones. And let's go for the kettlebell. So we want to see full depth in the bottom. All the points of performance are the squats are there. Knees nice and out, feet flat on the floor. And in the top, the weight stays in line with the shoulder. There we go. Then we have the odd object thrusters, in case you don't have a weight. Make this as heavy as that for your level is suitable. And if you're really limited in either a too heavy or too little weight, feel free to lower this by 2 or 4 reps, or maybe up it by 2. And then what you see is that the movement stays the same from that squat into an overhead. Okay, first one. Okay, you make one more from the side. That's the thruster. Great. Then lastly, burpees for in the remaining time. Now guys, I don't want to kill dreams here, but you're never going to make like 30 or 40 reps. This is really a sprint, and if you're going to get 10, you would be really lucky. In that burpee, we want to see chest all the way on the floor, coming up to full extension with a happy jump. Feel free to just make that a stepping down movement, and think of this as soon as you're at the burpees as a flat out sprint, because you have very, very short amount of time for these burpees left, so get every rep you can in the remaining time. As I said, scores total burpees, which makes the skipping as well as the thrusters kind of a buy-in. If you have a piece of paper ready, you can write down the number of burpees in between your rounds, and then please keep in mind that only a minute in between is very short, so just stay focused and stay close to your rope and your equipment if you have. Yeah, happy Saturday, good luck.
Enjoy.
Bye bye.